Please excuse the setup. These are my sound baffles. Like my studio has been kind of torn apart at the moment. Redo in the basement, but it's okay because it's still uploading, right? Now, before we get into the episode, I'm gonna show you guys something. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys something. I got a hoodie, and I'm showing it off to the world. I don't care. Call me a show. Look at that.
Damn, that's nice. That's nice.
Of course it is.
They don't know about the Fugees like that. They don't know. They don't know. Only real ones know.
Nothing to do with basketball. Nothing to do with.
I know. Only real ones know.
Exactly. The Fugees, the score, one of the greatest rap albums of all time. But hey, we'll have another episode about that.
Oh yeah, that album's amazing.
Goodness gracious, one of the best albums I've ever heard in my life. But
yeah,
let's get straight into it for today. Okay, so this is episode 59. We're so close to episode 60, which is closer to episode 100, and we have something. We're gonna have something special planned for episode 100, right? Now, we are officially 10 subscribers away from 100 subs. We're at 90. Thank you guys so much for the 90 subs. We gained 2 subs last video. 10 more subs to go with a month and a half left in the year. We can so do.
Let's go. Just get it up.
10 more. 10 people isn't that much. 10 people isn't that much. However, 90 is. Thank you guys so much for that. Now, let's just get straight into today's topic. So today we're just going to be doing a review of the NBA so far, but our exclusive just main topics are 1, Scottie Pippen saying whatever the heck he's saying, and 2, the Lakers struggle. So Jordan, I'm going to let you start it off with Scottie Pippen because I know you're passionate about this, man.
Oh my God. All right. This man, Scottie Pippen, man. What can I say? What can I say about Scottie Pippen, man? Like, bro, can you be quiet for a second? Like, Scottie Pippen, man. This whole notion that you're being underrated, right? You say you're one of the greatest defenders of all time. Most people agree with that.
It's true.
You're on most people's top 50 lists, right? You're on most people's top 30 of all time, right? I mean, you're seen as a hero in Chicago, right? Again, this is what Pippen's mad about, right? Pippen's mad that he wasn't MJ. Here's my thing. You weren't MJ, right? But you weren't Charles Barkley, you weren't Hakeem, you weren't Karl Malone either, right? So, or David Robinson. So I don't know what kind of adulation do you want. You were great. You won rings. That's cool. Right? Nobody denies your greatness. But at the end of the day, there was levels to this. You were on MJ's level. This guy had a quote saying that the Bulls won in spite of MJ, right?
Yeah, no, because because he would berate them if they didn't win.
Now, Pippen, we're not going to talk about how much times he got sick during elimination games, and MJ had to carry you, right? Like we ain't gonna pretend that didn't happen. We ain't gonna pretend Game 6 against Utah Jazz in the NBA Finals. You were out here sick. That happened, bro. Like, again, you can't rewrite history, bro. Like, the amount of games where Pippen was either had some mental distress or was sick and MJ had to carry. I don't want to hear about, what MJ did, because you want to complain about MJ in 1994. MJ's gone against the Bulls. You quit on your team. That happened. And let's not talk about, people don't talk about this. Before the season when MJ came back, the Bulls were under 500 before Michael Jordan came back.
Yeah.
Because there's this narrative that, like the LeBron super fans make that, the Bulls were fine without MJ, which is false, by the way, right? Because that's not true. That's idiotic. And even the narrative that LeBron teams get worse when he's gone is technically also false when you look at the context, right? The Heat got worse, but you also remember D Wade and Chris Bosh got hurt in the same year, right? So this context, right? The Cavs lost their entire starting 5 the year the first time LeBron left. So it wasn't just LeBron leaving and they fall apart. Contrary to popular opinion, context is a hell of a thing, man. Context is a hell of a thing. But look, I mean, I get Pippen has issues in his life that he needs to deal with. Look, MJ is not your biggest problem. MJ gives you credit all the time when he can. He has a quote saying that you cannot talk about Michael Jordan without talking about Scottie Pippen.
I remember that. It was on The Last Dance, Washington.
Yep. So it's like, bro,
without Scottie Pippen, there is no Michael Jordan. And that's a fact. And he acknowledges it.
Yeah, nobody denies that. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know what kind of what you want, bro. Like, do you want? Because again, you diss an MJ, right? Which doesn't make you look good, especially in the Chicago fan base, because Chicago fans will take MJ over you any day, bro. You gotta deal with that, right? You weren't the best player on the team. You weren't even close to being the best player of your own era, keeping it a buck, right? So like, I don't know what you complain about. You get the credit you want, you know, you're making money, right? I mean, you have stuff that's going on in your life, but you gotta deal with that. MJ ain't got nothing to do with your marriage, bro. Like anybody who's died in your family. I'm keeping it about, but MJ got nothing to do with that, man. Like,
That's
call
true.
up,
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
keep that energy in some other people, bro. Like, you've given more energy to MJ over the last few weeks than you've ever given to Future. Make that make sense to you, man. But you know, that's all I have to say, man. That's all I have to say about that, man. That's all I have to say.
You're an asshole, bro.
Am I
Anyways,
lying though? Like,
listen. All I gotta say is Future wrote a whole song about his wife, about Scottie Pippen's wife. But
yeah.
that's besides the point. All I'm trying to say, listen, he says, like people, I see people saying that there's more to life than winning the 6 rings. And yes, MJ did provide those rings for Scottie Pippen. Without MJ, those rings are non-existent. They don't happen.
Yeah.
They're not a thing, right? Same thing with Scottie Pippen. Without Scottie Pippen, those rings don't really happen, right?
Yeah.
But it's stuff like salary and hate sometimes he gets. However, like I hate it when he brings up salary because
That's his fault.
he chose to have that salary.
Let him know. Let him know.
To say, hey, pay me horribly if I could stay on the team. The owners recommended that he didn't take the contract to say, hey, if I were you, I wouldn't take the contract.
Yeah,
And he
let
also
him know.
said,
Let him
hey,
know.
no, they forced me to take it. They can't force you to do nothing. They can't force you to do anything.
David, preach, bro, because
It's a business. You're a
history out here.
businessman. Businessmen are rarely forced to do things.
They are rewriting history.
You little white guy force you to do something, bro. Come on.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Let him know how it is, David, because he rewriting history all of a sudden, man. He's rewriting history, man. That's my issue with it, right?
That there's a pride aspect to it, okay? There's pride that has been lost, okay? He
Obviously
is seen as somewhat of a bitch somehow in his eyes. I understand, but come on. This is the 90s, 30 years ago. Nobody's talking about that anymore. People
you also have to understand
who's going to the finals right now. Come on.
See, this is something I will say in Scottie Pippen's defense, right? Like MJ, like the whole like Scottie Pippen episode that they had in the Last Dance series, that shouldn't have been there since it's about MJ, right?
True,
see, the problem is
it was good to have a Scottie Pippen episode though. I liked it.
See, the problem is though, is that episode exposed what Scottie Pippen has been trying to hide for about 20 years now.
Yeah, no, that's why I got so pissed after. Why do you think he started talking so much after the Last Dance dropped?
Bro, if you ask most people who watched that era of basketball, Scottie Pippen was never that guy.
Okay, you can't say he was never that guy.
Okay, no, like there's people in my like family, bro, who watch 90s basketball, right? Nobody says Scottie Pippen wasn't great, but you know that upper tier for certain guys.
Yes,
you're talking about that MJ, Hakeem, David Robinson, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, right? Like
I got family that, hey man, you think it's crazy now? You should have seen people play back then, and they list off every single person, and rarely do they say Scottie Pippen because he is a sidekick.
Look, I know people that would
do that to him, but he's a sidekick.
Yeah, I know people that would take Patrick Ewing and Reggie Miller over him, even though I wouldn't. But I'm just saying, like, you got to understand here.
I wouldn't take either of those guys, but still.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying, like Pippen. Like,
those guys, yeah, and those guys are not more prominent in 90s history. However, they were the stars of the team. Scottie Pippen was never the star of his team, ever.
They were alphas, right?
And it's pretty much like he chose not to be the star of his team because when he had the opportunity to be the star of his team, he got sick.
See, that's sick. I saw this comment on YouTube, man. It was pretty funny. And this person was just like, hey, Scottie Pippen, what happened in 1994, right? Like, that's all you have to say to him. Again, your faults in your career, the end of the day is this. It's easier to replace Scottie Pippen than it is to replace Michael Jordan. Because nobody in history gives you what Michael Jordan does at an overall level. Now, you could say Kobe Bryant, but that's on like a notch below what MJ did, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, for Pippen, all time, I could replace Scottie Pippen with Kawhi Leonard on the Bulls, and they'd probably still win championships, right? I could replace Scottie Pippen.
Kawhi Leonard and Scottie Pippen are extremely similar.
And honestly, with the offensive ability that Kawhi does have, that team may have been actually better, right? I can list you a slew full of small forwards that you could replace with Scottie Pippen all time, and the drop off won't be crazy, right?
Scotty
Like
Barnes.
I could put, yeah, look, man, I could put Michael Jordan with Elgin Baylor, and they'll still be fine, right? Like if I put,
Well, because Elgin Baylor's better than Scottie Pippen,
yeah,
in
okay,
my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying.
Again,
I get
most
what you're
people's
saying.
opinion, yeah. Like imagine like trying to replace MJ with like Dwayne Wade or something on that Bulls team. They
No,
probably don't. They might have not even wanted. They might have only won like one championship, right? So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, and
like,
like
bro,
you said, I don't think it. I don't even think it would work like that with Kobe.
I was gonna say him, but like, yes, the point still goes the same, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
bro, you got to
100%.
get over, man, your demons, man. Like
Yeah,
most
pretty
people
much.
respect you as an all-time great, man. Nobody denies, your impact on the Bulls. If we're being honest, right? Most people put you really high on all-time lists. So it just you seem to be mad that the Last Dance kind of screwed up your image as the great teammate. Because you gotta understand, before the Last Dance came out, Scottie Pippen was seen as this great teammate, man. He never complained. He was so unselfish, right? He never wanted to take. He didn't want to be the man. He was fine being number 2, right?
Yeah,
That's what they
exactly.
said. Again, matter of fact, up until the Last Dance, most people didn't know this stuff about Scottie Pippen.
Exactly. It was like a light shined on it, and Scotty's like, "Oh no, they weren't supposed to do that," and now he's getting pissed.
Because they, like, my view of Scottie Pippen after watching the Last Dance documentary, it went down. I'll keep it a buck because I mean, I've heard of some of it, but
No, he changed.
like really seeing the whole like him not sitting out in the last minute of the game because he wasn't getting the game winning shot, right?
Yeah, that's the
Like,
only bad thing I knew about Scottie Pippen, that he sat out because he wouldn't get the game winning shot like he's 5.
yeah, but then you realize he didn't play well in the entire series, right? Like, again, that Bulls team had like 3 other All-Stars that year, right? So like he didn't carry the Bulls. Like, I don't know where people get this narrative from, right? Because they had the coach of the year that year, they had the MVP candidate, they had the 6th man of the year, and they had like 2 other All-Stars on the team. So, and you weren't, and the Bulls were better than the Knicks. Like, they should have beat the Knicks that year. They could have gone to the finals. If what Scottie Pippen thinks he is, that Bulls team should have got to the finals, right? But he's not. I don't hold that against him. But if you're gonna diss MJ, right, you got to be honest about your career, bro. It's not we hate Scottie Pippen. It's about if you're gonna break down players, you got to be honest.
Yeah, on some Stephen A stuff, man, you're being an idiot, man. You're being stupid. However,
like nobody's defending him. Nobody's defending him in the media. Nobody. No single person.
And you know what? It probably feels horrible, but hey, man, everyone knows what happened now after the Last Dance came out. Michael Jordan doesn't discredit you from anything. It's literally your own. It's literally yourself. It's yourself's the problem at this point. However, moving on to this, okay, because we talked about Scottie Pippen's struggles. Now we're on top of the Lakers' struggles. What the heck is happening? Like, what's happening? Russ is playing awfully.
Yep.
Like,
oh man,
they're bad.
Let's talk about.
It's like sorry to interrupt again, but like it's not even like they're iffy. They are bad. They're bad.
Yep, I cannot argue with you. So
they're not even in the play-in, right? Oh no, they're in the play-in, but they're barely in the play-in.
I'm gonna look it up right now where they are. Remember before the Timberwolves game, they were the 8th seed.
No, I think they're like the 10th now, 8th, 10th.
They are the 7th seed still, so they're the 7th seed.
Okay, it's playing. They're bad.
All right, so yeah, the Lakers, they have been bad. Now, this is the biggest problem with the Lakers, man. Transcending even Westbrook's bad play, which this is the worst Westbrook has played probably since like his rookie year, right? Which that's over like 13 years ago. So that says a lot, right? So even LeBron's injury that transcends LeBron's injury is that what hasn't been talked about enough is that their defense is so bad this year. I don't know why this has gone under. I don't know why this has gone under the radar, right? Because they went from being the best defensive team last year to being at the bottom. Like, they're allowing the Timberwolves to blow them out. They're allowing the OKC Thunder to drop 120 points on them, right? They're allowing the Spurs to drop 120. Like, thank you, man. Like, the Thunder.
Who does the Thunder have besides Shea? Oh, sorry. Listen. Wasn't it Josh Giddey?
It's nonsense, bro. Like, this is not happening, man. Like, their defense has been so bad this year. Now, I could give them the excuse, right, that Trevor Ariza is not playing, and some of their best defenders aren't actually playing. Like Tillhorn Tucker, as he's arguably the best defender. Yeah, but like
I guarantee you, though, half the people that watch the show don't even know those names.
Yeah,
like,
so
you don't need these guys to win games.
But with that being said, man, obviously some of the problems you have to do with right now, LeBron's hurt, so that affects their team. And they were having a little stretch. I think like a couple of the games before LeBron got hurt, him and Westbrook were finally kind of figuring it out how they played together. We saw LeBron playing a bit more of ball. Then LeBron gets hurt, right? So Westbrook, he could be more himself, but the thing is, you need LeBron to win games because LeBron's one of the best closers in the league. Quiet as kept. LeBron James is one of the best closers in basketball right now. And of all time.
He's a better closer than Dame.
Oh, I mean, that's obvious, right? But
stand by that. People don't think it's true. I'm like, come on.
Not even right now. Like, he's one of the best closers of like all time. If you like,
easily.
If you forget,
the way this guy heats up in the fourth quarter or something like we've never seen before.
If you forget the perception about who LeBron is as a fourth quarter player versus what he actually is, it's two different things. Because the narrative that Skip Bayless said, he's not clutch. That's not true, right? But
Skip Bayless has just been preying on his down. Like I saw a stat. Skip Bayless has tweeted more about LeBron than LeBron's wife.
Thank you, man. Like, what are you doing, bro? Get a life, bro.
Get off his feet.
Like. But yeah, look, the biggest problem is the defense has been awful. I think that will get better since when all their guys get healthy. Westbrook's play has been bad. Like, I don't expect him to be efficient, but like the turnovers are bad for him. Like, he's had like a couple of like 9 turnover games, 7 turnover games, like multiple times. Like, I expect 4 or 5 out of him because that's who he is as a player. It is what it is. But like 9, that's so much, bro. 9.
Some teams get 9 turnovers as a total. Like,
come on, man.
That's really good team still. You know what I'm saying? Like, goodness.
Now this reminds me of like last year when he played it when he was playing when he was on Wizards last year. At the beginning of the year, he was bad, right? And everybody said, hey, he should retire. Stephen A. Smith. To quote the great Stephen A. Smith, Westbrook should consider retiring, right? So that's what we said it last year. Now
I remember that, and I just recalled it. I'm like, wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah, what I think is going to happen is that Westbrook, since it's a new team, he seemed to always struggle when he starts to play with other teams. So I'm telling you, like, you wait a couple of weeks, particularly when LeBron comes back, the problems will be figured out. Now, right now, I can't defend what they're doing because they've been trash. Westbrook. The only good thing about their season so far has been AD. Because AD has been amazing this season. I don't know why people hating on AD. He needs to do more. I've heard that dumb statement, bro. People talk about he needs to do more. He's averaging 24 and 11 and 2 blocks.
What do you doing everything he can, man?
And he's been the best player on the Lakers.
Have you seen that footage where he just had a crazy game and he was just in the locker room like on the floor? He couldn't even go to the locker room. Like, this guy's putting everything he has in this. Injury-prone Anthony Davis is putting everything he has into the regular season because he just wants to win for once.
He hasn't missed a game so far this year.
He hasn't missed a game. You know how rare that is for Anthony Davis?
He's heard the criticism. He had a down year last year. He's been the only bright side of their team.
Yeah.
But, yeah, look, the rotations, that's a whole other problem, too. The 2 center, like, DeAndre Jordan, Russell Westbrook, and AD should not be on the same court together, man. When are we going to figure this out, bro?
Like, first of all, they didn't realize that they need to run Anthony Davis at the center throughout the season, not just the playoffs. Because if they want to do better, then they'll run him at the center. Bars, all right? Yeah. Right? There's that. Mm-hmm. Like you said, DeAndre Jordan and Anthony Davis should be on the court at the same time. Not even like, and Westbrook too. DeAndre Jordan and Westbrook are both horrible shooters. That's one. So that's bringing your team down that way.
And AD on the court too.
Massive dudes who are clogging up the paint on the court at the same time. That's like a walking 3-second violation.
Yeah. If I were the Lakers, the one thing I don't want is a stretch 4. Now the thing is though, getting a stretch 4 is like difficult. A lot of people say stuff that are just dumb. Like people will say, "Oh, all we need to do is get a 3-and-D guy." Like, do you know how hard those guys are to find?
It's like that. When you say 3-and-D, you're talking about guys like Klay Thompson. That's hard to find.
Or even on a lesser level, like a Robert Covington, those guys aren't for sale all the time
They're
because
not
those
that
teams want to
common.
keep them. So when dummies say shit like, "Oh man, we need to stretch four," like, bro, you're not gonna find that just wandering around somewhere, right? So from the Lakers for trade wise, I'm just hoping that you could get that. But for me, when they get healthier, Westbrook's gonna adapt more to the system. I feel like he should not be playing as bad as he's doing right now. LeBron, when LeBron comes back, that's going to change the dynamic because it's LeBron James.
Yeah. It's
like they're doing bad right now.
The name
like
itself is a morale booster.
Yeah, like I think people. I mean, really being honest, they've only played, was it like 15 games, right? No, not 13 games.
It's still
and people are like, this is the reason why I don't have like strong emotions in the beginning of the season, because people are saying all type of crazy stuff due to the beginning of the season, right? The Lakers are going to be a first round exit. Like, you need to stop the cap, right? Like, I get, look, if you see some of the teams that are first, bro, up here, man, it's wild. Like,
look, I'm gonna name you the top 5 of each conference.
Yes.
In the East, we have the Wizards, the Nets, the Bulls, the Cavs, and the Heat.
Come on, bro.
The Cavs and the Wizards. That's one.
Yeah.
Okay. Now for the West. West is a little more understandable. It's Golden State, Phoenix, Denver, Dallas, and the Clippers. Not Phoenix. Denver, I'm kind of finding hard to understand. I'm surprised that they're doing that well without Jamal Murray.
The only team that surprises me is Dallas. I think Dallas is going to fall down.
Dallas? And
but,
no, come on.
Yeah, like the Wizards, for example, right now, I thought the Wizards would be better than expected due to their depth. But, like, to be this good.
Bro, Wizards hate till I die. I hate Kyle Kuzma with a passion. He'll never be an all-star. He sucks. I don't care.
Their defense has been insane. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league. So I guess the coaching improvement, which, coaching been probably not. Actually, I've been saying that since like grade 7, man. Like,
I promise you, Jordan's been saying it since grade 7.
Scott Brooks should have been fired, bro. Like, I'm surprised he got a job after what he did in OKC after that blunder, man. Like, I don't know why this guy got a job. I'm like, really? This is the same guy that couldn't win a championship with KD, Westbrook, and Ibaka and Steven Adams on his team. Like, you're just a bad coach, bro. You're a bad coach if you can't do that, man.
No, you're a bad coach at that point. Like, come on. Come on, really?
Yeah.
That team is arguably better, and it pains me to say this, arguably better than that 2019 Raptors team. Arguably.
In a 7-game series, I would pick the Thunder to beat that. Like,
exactly.
If they had an actual offense, they'd be good.
And if you substitute Nick Nurse for Scott Brooks in that moment, I think the Thunder are winning.
Well, if they had a coach like Nick Nurse, they would have won a championship. Because if you ever watched a OKC game when Westbrook and KD were on the team, it was street ball. It was street ball. No, it was electrifying. Like, it was fun to watch, but when you break down how good it is, the offense would be, hey, Westbrook and KD, get the ball, dribble it, score or pass. That's it. No plays, no off-ball movement, no shooting, right? Just
it was street ball.
It's street ball. And they were great at it because you have Westbrook and KD, who were both in their primes at the time, right? You had 2 top 5 players in the league, which Westbrook was a top 5 player during that time period. So it's like, yeah, your street ball works, but now when you go against teams like the OKC or the Spurs, who play with ball movement and they have talent, that's not going to work, right? So street ball is cool and all, but like, there's going to be a team that has equally talent, because again, there were teams like the Spurs weren't a better talent team than OKC, but they would still beat them with Tim Duncan, right?
Exactly.
From a talent perspective.
Old ass Tim Duncan too.
Actually, OKC was a more talented team than the 73-9 Warriors, if you're breaking it down from player to player on the team.
Player to player, yes.
Overall,
the 73-9 Warriors team isn't even the best team of all time. I'm just going to say that.
It's not even the best Warriors team of all time, but
exactly.
I wouldn't even put them
like time they would have won championships.
I wouldn't put them as like a top 15 team of all time, because I don't care how much you win, bro. Like, you need to win a championship.
Oh, hold on a second. It's okay. Listen. I was gonna say the what's it called? The record doesn't matter. However, 73-9. And you're saying another top 15 team of all time? Are you talking about overall or are you just talking about regular season team?
I'm talking about like overall playoff and
Okay.
regular season. So that's the reason why I said
Overall,
like
top 15 is more acceptable. More acceptable.
Yeah.
Overall.
So for you to be like a top 15, 10 team of all time, you have to win a championship. There's no exception to the rule. Like I don't care about
96
their
Bulls.
record, because even like, man, I'm not sure if I want to say this, man, but like that team, when you really think about it, they were really great, obviously, but their biggest weakness was that they could not create shots when they had to. Right? You saw that against the Cavs when they exposed. So this is the reason why KD actually matters in this aspect, because their fourth quarter offense, if it was a close game, was trash. That's the reason why they lost to the Cavs.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Because LeBron and Kyrie, they could create shots. Curry's great, but Curry, he's not that type of player where you're going to give him the ball and he's going to create buckets for you. That's why KD was important, because when it was the fourth quarter, when it was a close game, as you saw in the NBA Finals a lot and against the Rockets, right? You could give the ball to KD and boom, right? And KD made that team unstoppable because obviously full court, the Warriors fast break was crazy. You couldn't guard them. The off-ball movement was crazy. Their physicality was a problem because you saw Curry get bullied. LeBron and Kyrie, they were bullying him, right? And their shot creation was actually quite weak for a team that great offensively. So when you had KD, you couldn't guard that, right? Because if the off-ball movement doesn't work, ISO, right?
Okay. So then I have one last question before we move on to our next topic.
Yeah.
Who do you think is a better team all time then? The 73-9 Warriors or the 2019 Raptors?
I'm going to say the 73-9 Warriors, man. Again, this stuff, look, that Raptors team.
Let's hear the reason.
Okay. That Raptors team is one of the best defensive teams of all time. Quiet as kept.
Easily.
But I do think in a 7-game series, that Warriors team would beat them pretty handily. Like, the fact that it took them 6 games to beat a depleted Warriors team, you got to think about it. The Warriors, when they won 73-9, they had one of the best benches in the league. Like, that would have been over. Like,
the Raptors' challenge was more in the East rather than it was in the West.
Yeah.
Just like it was on some Chicago Bulls stuff. Because when you think about it, the hardest time Michael Jordan ever had was getting out of the East, right?
Yeah.
And getting into the finals. When Michael Jordan was in the finals, he was winning every time.
Yeah.
If Michael Jordan would have gone to the finals 10 times, I'd be sure that he would have won 10 times. However, most of his competition was in the East, and that's the same it is for the Raptors.
Yeah. Also, the Raptors team offensively wasn't the best where you could put it that high caliber. Like, they were a good offensive team, obviously, but you saw a lot of the time it really broke into Kawhi bail us out of like teams not showing up.
It turned into Kawhi.
Especially that
we need you.
I always go back to that Sixers series because that's one of the greatest series of all time of an individual player. His performance in that series, and the amount of times where Kawhi would bail the Raptors out, or Pascal would be MIA, Larry was MIA, Fred VanVleet was MIA. The only other player that showed up was Ibaka. Right? Yeah. It's like nobody was there, and like it works well against because you remember that Sixers team was offensively duking the half court.
Oh my goodness,
they're so mad.
Listen, however though, I would just like to say, even if Kawhi didn't hit that shot, the Raptors are still winning.
I'm gonna say this, man. If the Raptors were to lose,
until the day I die.
I agree with you, but if the Raptors were to lose that game, Kawhi's legacy would have been done. Because people forget he missed that free throw. It shouldn't even been a tie game. He missed their free throw.
I remember that, and I remember looking at Lil Nate's story, and he's like, Kawhi on clutch, legacy tarnished forever. And then this guy posted a story. Damn, never mind, because he hit that crazy shot. And let's face it, that shot was lucky. Yes, it was.
Still winning. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care if it's lucky or not. That's dumb.
That's what I was gonna say. Because who cares? Did it go in? Yes. Did we win the finals? Yes, we did. Look at it. It says it here, over there, under this. It says it on top of my Legos.
Man,
all right.
you have like four. You have four like
Bro,
record stuff. Oh
hold
my
on.
god.
I've never showed this on the podcast. Give me a second. I've never showed this on the podcast. Give me a second, man. Oh, you don't understand how happy I was the day the Toronto Raptors won. That on that Christmas of 2019, I got myself this. My parents got me this. We're good though. So as you can see,
yep.
This is the here. Let me turn on my ring light real quick. There.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's nice.
It's not focusing. It's not focusing. However, I have an exact replica of the Toronto Raptors ring. That's how happy a man like me was. You know what? I'm gonna wear this. I'm gonna wear this to school. That's
nice though.
Look at that. Kyle Lowry has everything in it. Even has Kyle Lowry's name on the inside. That's how hyped we were. The Raptors won. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's wild though. Yeah, Kawhi's legacy almost got tarnished.
Almost. But hey, he saved us. And
yep. And Nate spoke too soon.
He spoke too soon, man. Okay, now to move on to our final one of the day. Steph has the most 3-pointers of all time now, and this Warriors team is 7-1. They are going insane.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking like a championship caliber team, and they don't even have Clay yet.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even have Clay yet.
Again, based on the season so far, we were right. We were both right about the Curry for MVP.
We said it.
I've been on the train, but I've been on the train since like before this. We've been on this train before the season started, so everybody's on it now.
We said it.
Yeah. The Warriors, they look like a contender, man, because they play great together and they don't even have Clay back. And people understand their team is still quite injured because I don't think they have Wiseman back yet. Like they still have guys missing. So when that team is healthy, man, that team is deadly. That team is deadly.
They're gonna stop that team once they're fully.
Do I think they're gonna win it all? Probably not. But if they do though, man, I was talking to Marcus with this. You know, I'm like, hey, if Curry wins a ring, man, the way we evaluate his legacy, man, is gonna be crazy. Because if he has another MVP,
he might be top 10 of all time.
Look, if he wins MVP, gets the championship and a Finals MVP against the competition that he's gonna have to face, not only in the West and in the. Because you have to think about it, he's gonna have to go against the Nuggets, the Suns, the Lakers, the Clippers, right? The Jazz, right? Even some of the weaker teams in the conference are okay, like the Mavs. And then in the finals, you're either going to be facing the Nets, the Bucks, or the Heat, right? And if he could do that, I'm sorry, man. He is top 10 because if that happens, because his resume, with all those things,
MVP, he's top 10.
His resume, man, is very close to guys like Shaq with all those accomplishments, right? His resume is very close to a guy like Kobe Bryant. Not saying he's better, but I'm saying like the resumes, if that happens, they're quite close. Because I could be like, hey, right, Curry has I would even be able to make an argument that he's better. I'm like, hey, Curry has 3 MVPs, right? He led 2 teams to the finals as the best man, right? Obviously, his efficiency, Curry's like the most efficient high volume scorer who's ever played the game. He's the only guy that could drop 40 with barely touching the ball on a consistent level, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, like if he gets a ring and an MVP, I'm sorry, man, he is one of the greatest basketball players to ever do it, and there's no denying that. I know people are not gonna like that because they don't like Curry due to the way he plays and how he changed the game, but you can't deny his accomplishments if that happens. If all those stuff happen, he's top 10 in my opinion. I can't.
That might be pretty upsetting. As Del Curry, I wonder what his thoughts are that his son is like 45 times the player he was. Like, hey, but that just means that he raised Rose a good basketball player.
Hey, I'm also a different era, man. Who knows? If Del Curry was able to shoot like 10 threes per game, he might have been better, man. Like,
because he was
I'm
able
just
to. He just wasn't. He just
because
different era. Like
that's the reason why I tell people, like, if you put Larry Bird in this era, he'd be better than he was in the 80s. And again, I stand by that comment, by the way, because
yeah. So let's end it on this then. Larry Bird, can he play? One, can he play in this era? Two, Larry Bird versus KD.
okay. So for the first answer, if you don't think Larry Bird can't play in this era, you're just an idiot, right? So I'm not gonna fucking argue with you, right? But now the second part,
he wasn't athletic. He could rebound. He could pass. He was the point forward.
he plays like a mixture of Jokic and like Luka. In this era, he'd probably be more of a power forward than a small forward. And yeah, now in terms of the KD versus Bird thing, Bird would be better than KD in this era, like he is all time. Now, again, one-on-one skills, KD's obviously better. KD's like arguably the best one-on-one player of all time. But when you talk about their ability to win,
don't mean anything though.
Thank you, because
we tell Hamad this. Hamad,
yes.
1v1s don't mean anything. Because look, Shaq, 9 out of 10 times, Shaq is going to beat MJ in a 1v1.
Yep.
But MJ is the GOAT.
Because I'm telling you, man, if Bird was able to shoot 10 3-pointers per game in this era, Bird would average an easy 30. And you got to remember, not only that, Bird was a great rebounder. He averaged 10 rebounds per game. He was a better rebounder than KD and LeBron James. You also remember, his passing ability is equal to LeBron James. And even people like Magic Johnson, like if you see the type of passes that Bird was able to make, behind the back touch passes.
Yeah, and it's just crazy because Larry Bird is an unathletic guy playing in an era where you have guys like Dennis Rodman, like David Robinson, like Hakeem Olajuwon, like Patrick Ewing. These guys, it is a big man dominated era, and Larry Bird is a small, unathletic, small forward who can rebound. So, like, you really don't think he's gonna average at least a double-double in today's era?
I'm telling you,
like he'd get like 28, 12, and 7 in today's era.
Yeah, in this era for me, he would probably average 29, 8, and 8. And he'd be in the conversation, and he'd be like a top 4 player in the league. Now, I don't care. Somebody's got to be kicked out of that top 4. But, you know, he's going to be there because
I don't know who I'd kick out. I don't think. I don't. Yeah. Wow. I think I'd put him 6 because my top 5 is just unbreakable at this point. I got MJ, LeBron, Hakeem. Kareem, Tim Duncan, and Magic.
Oh, I'm talking about like in the league right now, not all time.
Oh, I'm like, okay, hands down. What? He's probably the best player in the league,
except for
LeBron.
Yeah, but LeBron's not, again, Prime Bird. I said Prime Bird was an animal. People got to Prime Bird was better than Prime Magic Johnson. Now, Magic had a better career, but Prime for Prime, the fact that you could average 30 on 50, 40, 90 shooting. Yeah, there's a huge difference. Like, Hakeem had a better prime than a lot of people you put above on an all-time list.
All right. I'll give it to you. I agree with that. Same with Shaq. Shaq's prime is the best you've ever seen.
Prime and career is different. Like, Shaq as a prime player, he's a top 3 player. The only 2 people who had a better prime, in my opinion, is MJ and LeBron. As a player, he's more top 10 because, you know, stuff happened in his career. He didn't live up to potential. He didn't max out his potential.
Got fat. Shaq got massive.
Bill Russell maxed out his potential. Whatever you want to say. Kobe Bryant maxed out his potential, right? Wilt Chamberlain maxed out his potential. LeBron maxed out his potential. MJ, I could go on. Bird had injuries, so that's different. Magic had, you know, HIV, so that was different, right? But they maxed out their potential. You can't say that Larry Bird disappointed you as a player.
Yeah.
But I could say Shaq disappointed you as a player.
That's facts. I learned that in one of the episodes. But yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, man. Well, yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, thank you guys so much for 90 subs. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, turn on post notifications. Because that way, not only can we get to 100 subs by the end of the year, but it'll just motivate us to provide more amazing content for you guys because we love doing it. We love doing this. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, evening, night, wherever you guys stay at. Thank you guys so much. Peace.